Hey guys, Rob Skiba here. It is about 7:30 p.m. and I have literally been working since about 4:30 p.m. So it's 3 hours now, trying to get my system to work the way I wanted it to work so that I could do what I intended to do today. But it appears to be the problem appears to be that my internet connection is just not powerful enough. I thought I had really good internet, but when I looked into it, it's actually AT&T. The service that I have is not even provided anymore. So clearly I need to upgrade. So that is my intention, is to in the very near future upgrade my internet connection. um Hopefully that will resolve some of the problems that I've been having. I was trying to use OBS software to do a live stream tonight. My intention was to play all 8 parts of the video series that I did, the expanded version of the Parable of the Vineyard interview. um you know I I don't get it. I really don't get it. I've been reading through the comments on my last video that I put up, whatever happened to Rob Skiba. Well, first of all, let me just say thank you for everybody who wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate that. Also, thank you to everybody who has contributed towards the Seed Project and has seen value in the 10 years worth of hard work that I put into sharing stuff online through blogs and podcasts and videos and everything else for free. And so for those of you who have contributed, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, we can't do it without you. But I read through some of these comments, and people are thinking that I'm a sellout. That myself and the guys from Parable of the Vineyard and Christian Truthers are somehow in favor of this UFO alien disclosure thing. I'm like, I don't honestly know how you can watch those videos and come to that conclusion. Seriously, what this shows me is that people have about a 5-minute attention span and no comprehension skills. I don't know how you could watch those videos and think that I in any way believe in aliens and UFOs. Well, all we're doing is exposing this agenda. In order to expose the agenda, we have to show it. I can't believe I actually have to explain this to people. But apparently I do. And the reason I hacked that series up into as many videos as I did is because I was trying to keep them as short as possible, so that people can have a viewing comprehension and retention of the material. If my thinking was, geez, if I put this up as a 6-hour, 7-hour video, I'm going to lose them after 20 minutes. But man, I mean, even with the videos that I put up, they're what, 10, 15, 20. I think the longest was an hour and 20 minutes, and people can't pay attention that long. I don't know. It's just, I don't get it. Other people saying that I'm a sellout, that I'm a Hollywood shill. Okay. Again, how can you come to that conclusion if you actually listen to anything I say? That could be the problem. You don't actually listen to anything I say, or you're believing a bunch of idiots online that are gossiping and psychopaths. Uh, no, I'm not a Hollywood shill. I've never lived in Hollywood. I've never spent more than maybe a week at a time anytime I've gone out there, and that was to network with other believers who are trying to be a light in the darkness out there. Yes, I did go to the Hollywood Film Institute, and what is that? Ooh, see, that proves it. He's a Hollywood shill. Oh boy. Um, so this is what I attended: a 2-day film school. Okay, the Hollywood Film Institute is a couple of weekend 2-day film schools. They have different tracks. I went to the producer track in what was it, 1995, and I went through the director's track in 1999. And Dov S. Simmons gives like just the nuts and bolts. All you need, everything that they teach you in these 2 and 4 year courses is fluff. They teach you theory and history of film and all that kind of stuff. He's like, look, this is what you need to know to make movies. And people like Quentin Tarantino and Will Smith and Spike Lee and some of these other guys that were sort of the up and coming new independent filmmakers back in the 90s especially, That's what they did. They went to this 2-day film school and they said, "Well, there's nothing preventing me. I can get 15 grand, 50 grand together, or whatever, go out there and make a Blair Witch Project or whatever, these independent films that were real big at the time that were made for next to nothing, real low budget movies." So his 2-day film courses launched the careers of a whole lot of people who didn't want to go to 2-year and 4-year schools in LA or New York or whatever. So, by the way, anybody else that's out there who has ambitions of making film, well, let's say movies, I highly recommend this. This is actually a really good course. I went and paid for the streaming again because it's been, like I said, it was 1995 and 1999 when I went to these. So it's, I've slept a few times since then. So I started watching them again through the streaming service. So you could go live for $389 to the 2-day school. You could get it on DVD for $349, or you can stream it for $129. So and he's got a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's in his blogs. Oh, maybe it's resources. Maybe I forget. Anyway, he's got. Film resources, maybe. No, I don't know where it is, but he's got a whole bunch of videos that are somewhere on this site that are free, so you can get kind of a feel for how he teaches and what he teaches. I don't remember where it went. See, I'm taking too long right now. I probably lost several of you because your attention span's about that of a gnat. The rest of you, thanks for hanging in there for 4 minutes now. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the school that I went to. That's what made me a shill. Wow. Anyway, so I'm going to keep this video short, just because I'm not able to do what I wanted to do tonight. And man, it really bums me out because there's some other things that I have in the works that what I was going to do tonight was going to be like a test for some of the bigger things that I have planned in the future. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let me look at some of the chat room here, or the comments from that other video. Yes, I did hear about BitChute. There's several. I told you guys about what was it? Library. So I've already moved stuff over to Library. I am looking into BitChute. I did look into Brighteon a while back and actually saw people complaining about that one too, because what's his name, the health ranger guy, anyway, the guy that created it, he's doing some censorship too. And part of it is because his hands are tied also, because even though you create your own platform, you still have to deal with other companies, to your hosting service and, streaming, and even, just there's all kinds of different services on the back end that are running these things. And if they say, "Wow, I don't want you streaming on my server because you're talking about this, that, and the other thing." So, a lot of these companies are owned by the mega companies that own the media and that are doing all this censorship. So, I like him. I like what he's trying to do with Brighteon, but it appears that, he's doing some censorship too. So I don't know enough about BitChute. People have been writing to me, telling me about it. I did go to the website, check it out. It's kind of interesting. Val Owens has another one. I think it's Truth Stream or something like that. Forgive me, I forget the name of it, but I've been in communication with him on Facebook. Some people are like, "Well, why don't you just create one?" Well, you know what? I have the domain Conspiratube because the conspiracy genre is what's being attacked the most, and pick one. I mean, not just the flat earth, but there's all kinds of other topics out there that have become off limits. So I thought, what, if I create a YouTube alternative that's specifically for all the things that YouTube's banning, that would be good. So I do own the domain, but when I looked into what it takes to create a YouTube-like platform, and the servers and everything that's necessary to handle the bandwidth and all that, and the security, it's about as much as what I'm trying to use for financing seed. So, if I'm going to raise that kind of money, I'm going to work on seed. It costs a lot of money to do these things, and nothing's cheap. So I do own the domain. If somebody out there has a great idea and for creating and knows how to create a way, I don't have time to teach myself this, all this stuff. That already knows how to create a streaming service and has the ability to handle all that bandwidth and security and everything else that goes involved with it, that's involved with that sort of thing, contact me or whatever. Maybe we can work something out on that. But look, my time is extremely limited and I got to stay focused on seed. Let me see if there's anything else I need to address here. Yeah, working on BitChute. I did find something that was pretty cool that somebody told me about. Let me share this. This might be something that other content producers could benefit from. It was in the comments. Takeout.google.com. Manage archives. And I'm not going to hit the back button. Well, let me see if I can just do takeout.google.com. I don't know if it was www or not. No www. Yeah, so this is actually kind of cool. YouTube's owned by Google, so as well as a whole lot of other services here. So I deselected all because I don't want. Let me do this. Deselected all. And so if you go to takeout.google.com, and you have to be signed in to your Google Plus account to do this, scroll all the way down. And if you're on YouTube, you can select YouTube right there. And you can select this, and it will archive all these things: your chats, your history. I don't know what kids is, your comments, all this stuff, your videos, of course, and all that. So you can select all or pick the ones that you want, hit OK, click next step, and you can set it up to download via email link, export type, one-time archive, zip format, select your file size. I went ahead and, because I've got a lot of stuff, I set 50 gigabytes, and then you click create your archive. And I did that late last night and it did it for me. So all of my videos on YouTube amount to about a terabyte, almost 871 gigs of video content. And this is what it did. So it created 18 50 gigabyte zip files, which I haven't downloaded yet, but 18 is a whole lot easier to download than almost 500. So yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I have the originals on my computer already from which I obviously uploaded to YouTube. But this makes it a whole lot easier because it's like, what did I I've got a billion videos on my computer from years and years of both creating content as well as downloading content. So this makes it real easy. So it looks like there's 18 zip files, each about 50 gigs, that archived my YouTube channel. So those of you out there who are concerned about this the same way I am, that might be something that will help you. I forgot who it was that told me about it in the chat room, but I really appreciate it. That's certainly a time saver there. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let me look. Hang on a second. Man, I got too many browser windows open here. Sorry, hang on a second. Wow, there's 500 people watching right now. Cool. Hey, thanks guys for the super chats too, by the way. I didn't even know what super chat was. I saw it was something I could activate, and so I did. So I really appreciate that, everybody in the chat room that's sending super chats. The only problem with super chats, from what I understand, is YouTube takes like 30% or 35% or something outrageous. So when I heard the number, I was like, are you kidding me? So if you're inclined to contribute whenever I do a live feed like this, I certainly appreciate the super chats. But rather than giving YouTube 35 or 30% or whatever it is, I'd rather you just shoot over to Seed, go to the Seed website, and make a contribution over there. Again, I appreciate it here, but you're giving YouTube a big percentage of it, so not cool, especially considering what they are doing to everybody. And I'll put a link in the chat room here for you in that regard. This is the there you go, Seed chat. Well, I guess while I'm here, I'll take a few minutes and look through the chat here. Scroll back up. Coming soon. Let's see. Jennifer says, I caught my husband listening to one of your old conferences, and I thank Yeshua he's waking up. That's awesome. Cool. Brian says, thank you for being so faithful and courageous. Can we contact you about making documentaries? Well, and thank you for the super chat. I'm not going to be doing anything else but Seed right now. I got to stay 100% focused on Seed. I'm certainly, willing to be interviewed if somebody wants to interview me or something like that, but I'm not going to be doing documentaries myself or making anything new, especially as we get funded. The funds that have come in so far have made it possible for me to get a Seed office again. I canceled my Seed office and I've been working here out of my home office for a couple of years now. But I've got some writers that want to get together and start brainstorming and doing writing sessions. And now that I've got people interested in Seed sending me stuff, again, if you are talented, have gifts and ability, I'm talking like top notch. I mean, I don't mean to insult anybody or anything like that, but compare your work to, anything you've seen on TV or in the movies. And if you've got, Avengers quality ability of animation, artwork, and that kind of stuff, that's what we need. We have got to be as good at they are as telling lies, and that's in every way. We've got to have the production value. So, we need very talented people to help out in this regard. And if you have that degree of talent and the equipment and stuff to do it, software and whatnot, and if you're a writer, you need to have Final Draft. That's the industry standard software. That's what I use also. If I get other writers, they need to have Final Draft so we can exchange files and work together and, all that kind of good stuff. So anybody out there, musicians, actors, whatever, send to production@seedtheseries.com, production@seedtheseries.com. Please don't use that email for anything else other than to submit your work. And, if you're interested in trying to get involved somehow with the project, I've got so many emails that are just full, like with all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to keep that one as clean as possible, specifically for that project. So there's that. Hey, Rob, will there be a debate with Kent Hovind anytime soon? It's funny. I happened to just like last night. Yeah, it was last night. It was about this time last year that was the big hoo-ha that Dr. Sangenis and Kent Hovind were after me for a debate. And I just happened to watch those videos. It was almost exactly a year ago. No intention to debate Kent. Honestly, I don't believe he has any intent to debate either. If you go back and watch his challenge, he says, you need to provide first, before we can even talk about the debate, first, he wants us to provide him with an accurate map and model of what we believe. And I made videos about that saying, you don't even have an accurate map of the globe. There's been something like 250 map projections that have been made in the last 2,500 years. So which map are you going to use, Kent? Because none of them are correct. Well, that's because you can't turn a globe into a flat map. That's not my problem. That's your problem. If you're going to demand an accurate map, then show me yours. You don't have an accurate map. It's impossible to make an accurate map from a ball, but that's not my problem. That's your problem. So, and when it comes to the cosmological model that you believe in, the very people that you are endorsing, whether you like it or not, you're endorsing those who support the Copernican model, and some of the chief spokespeople out there for that are Neil deGrasse Tyson, who admits to being 96% stupid in the field that he claims to be an expert in, and Michio Kaku, who says that when it comes to cosmology, we're off by a factor of 10 to the 120th power. Okay, so sorry, you don't have an accurate map or model either. So what right do you have to demand an accurate map or model from us first before you're even willing to entertain an idea of a debate? So I think what he's trying to do is prove a point. He wants us to realize we don't have an accurate map or model. Oh, I give up. I guess it must be a ball. Also, he's very antagonistic. I actually really enjoyed the time that I spent with Dr. Singenis and debating him. And my counter challenge was, look, yeah, I don't have time to debate both of you. I will debate one of you. So you two need to debate each other. You both have the same map and model idea. You both believe the same thing, that the Earth's a globe. Kent believes it's spinning. Dr. Singenis doesn't. He thinks the Earth is stationary and the universe spins around it. So you have that part down. So the only thing to debate then is whether it's heliocentric like Kent believes or geocentric like Dr. Singenis believes. So my counter challenge was, look, you two debate each other first, winner, knowing full well that Dr. Singenis would clobber Kent Hovind had ended up debating Singenis anyway. So I knew that Kent would either lose by default by either not responding or just saying no, which ultimately he did, or if he did debate, he would get clobbered by Singenis, and I'd end up debating Singenis anyway. So the net result is I ended up debating Singenis, which I did last November. So no plans on that. Certainly moving on from there. Dinosaurs. Look, guys. Yeah, I know the word dinosaur wasn't invented until like the 1800s. It means terrible lizard. I personally know people who dig up what we call dinosaurs for a living. I've seen the fossils myself. I understand the argument about the fake fossils and stuff that are in museums, but that's because a lot of times they're trying to preserve the real bones. So they cast those and make, fake replicas for the museums. So sorry, but I am definitely one of those guys who believes dinosaurs, what we call dinosaurs, large reptilian type creatures, certainly wandered this earth. I believe, biblically speaking, Behemoth and Leviathan are probably good examples. If you read the description of Behemoth, its tail moves like a cedar tree. Well, that's a pretty good description of a sauropod class dinosaur, if you ask me. My take on it, though, personally, is that there were the herbivore type of dinosaurs were probably created by God, and the Velociraptor, T-Rex types were more than likely corruptions of those genetically engineered and created by man. If you read Jubilees 7:24 and Joshua 4:18, it certainly seems to fit that narrative, in my opinion. Rob, do you talk to Johnny Cerrucci anymore? No, because he went psycho on me because I didn't, in his mind, take enough stand against the Vatican. Look, I agree. I'm against the Vatican. I'm against the Jesuits, but that's his thing. Everything to him is Vatican and Jesuits, and unless you're as diehard, hardcore as he is, he thinks that you're a shill or a heretic or whatever. So he's the one that kind of went bat crap crazy on that regard. Let there be a cool website, and there was a cool website. Thank you. Thank you. Been blessed by my messages. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. A lot of good compliments here. Will you talk about Seed at Take on the World 2019? Yes, I will definitely be talking about Seed there. Still working on, I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about. It's probably more than likely all the events that, the information from the Contact in the Desert conference that I went to, and just trying to wake people up, probably similar material to the 8-part series that I did recently. Let's see here. What's your take on David Lynn? Don't know, David. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Yes, I am definitely still working very much on Seed. Yeah, I agree on the trolls. Thank you, Ivan, for the super chat. Appreciate that. I just saw something else that Google Hangout is going away August 1st. When I set this Hangout out to do what I'm doing right now, it said that this is going away August 1st, and then I could do it through it was YouTube webcam or something, webcam stream. I don't remember what it was called, but I went there and I can't for the life of me figure out how to bring on another guest because I was trying to figure out a different way of doing rather than using OBS. I was trying to think about using a different computer and bringing that other computer on as a like another host and playing a video through that one, and it didn't work. So I can't for the life of me figure out how that happens. So interesting changes in the works, and in my opinion, they're not good ones, and they're not user friendly. I'm fairly tech savvy and usually can figure things out pretty easy, but I couldn't figure it out. So let's see. Somebody else asking about debate. Nope, no debate, no interest. Here's the thing with that, guys. Look, a boxer doesn't just jump in the ring when somebody says, "Oh, well, I want to box you." No, when a boxer is challenged, yes, he knows how to box. I know my material. Kent knows his material. Other people know their material. You don't just jump in the ring because you know the material. If you want to really win a debate, you got to strategize. And the way to do that is to spend time studying your opponent. What does he believe? How does he operate? What's his, mode of operation and attack? You got to study your opponent. And when it came to Robert Sungenis, I did that for well over a month. I watched over 20 videos, 2 and 3 hour videos of him debating other people to form a strategy to go after him specifically. And let me just address that real quick too. I never did get around to doing an elaborate version of the debate. I put the debate up, and I said that maybe I'll do another video talking about what I was thinking and why I did what I did and said what I said, and things that I didn't get a chance to say because I ran out of time. Some people criticize me for going after his Catholicism and whatnot and getting a little carried away in the third segment, the closing remarks, and actually watching it myself. I'm like, yeah, I did get kind of carried away because, he said if it's a dome, well then yeah, the flat earthers are right. And I showed him from the Vatican website. And the reason I did this because I watched a lot of videos of Dr. Sungenis arguing solo scriptura versus solo ecclesia. Now, that means, scripture alone versus the sole authority of the church, and in that case it's the Catholic Church. I believe in the sole authority of the scripture. He believes that the church is the sole authority and that the church gave us scripture, and so the church is therefore the only one that's authorized to interpret it. Yeah, I mean the whole dome thing that I go dome. Yo, Adrian. Yeah, I admit it, I got a little carried away, got caught up in the moment, but my strategy there, because I've read his book, he had a whole lot of stuff about church fathers. He's huge on church fathers. So I went after the church fathers, and I went after his church doctrine belief, because the Vatican website that's run by the Pope, he's the head of everything in the church. So I would presume that the website falls under that authority. It said dome. So I was pretty excited about that. Like his own deal argued in my favor, not his. So I went after that. And the other thing I was going after is like, look, the Pope and all these guys are starting to endorse evolution, and they're endorsing aliens. So what are you going to do, Dr. Sungenis? Because evolution defies Genesis. Evolution throws out the entire timeline and even the order of Genesis. So if you say the church has the authority and the Pope has the authority over scripture, then you have to throw out Genesis. And if the church fully embraces and makes aliens dogma, well, then by his own doctrine, he's forced to believe it. So that was my strategy and why I, went the direction I did in the concluding remarks there. Thank you, Stevie B. I'll try not to waste my time about the trolls. I really am getting a lot better at just ignoring them. But sometimes they just really crack me up, and I think, what are these people thinking? 5 people already thumbs down. What the heck did I say that make anybody, I give you guys a reason for living. You should be excited. Like you'd have nothing else to do with your life if you didn't come here to, be an idiot. So you should pay me $30 for that. I've given you a reason to live. Anyway, let's see. People asking about taking the world. I already mentioned that. Yeah, let's see here. I wish it was an easy way to just like maybe bring some people on and talk to them, sort of like a call line, a caller's board, you know. Um, Thank you. Whoa, my thing just refreshed, and now I'm like way behind here. You really, kind of need a moderator, somebody else to do, so I don't have so much dead time. Sperry, thank you so much for that super chat. You've been checking it out, seed out for 4 years. Can't wait. I can't wait either, bro. Thank you. Dome. Hey, Robbie, celebrate truth. I'm gonna wrench you, buddy. Give you a wrench. I need more moderators in here sometimes. So I guess it just because Kevin, thank you for being in here. It looks like it retains the wrench from whenever you give it to people before. So yeah, people I know and trust, I'm gonna give you a wrench to help moderate here. Sorry, Rob, I missed your show last night. He did an encore presentation of the interview that he and Nate Wolf did with me. I was just about to get on, and she was like, "We're going to dinner." So we went out to dinner for my birthday. So sorry I missed the live presentation, but enjoyed that interview, Robbie. Thank you, and Nate, that was awesome. Christina said I did great in the debate. Thank you, appreciate that. I have a LinkedIn account. Somebody's talking to me about LinkedIn. It's just, I have so many of these social media things. It's impossible to keep up with everything. And my immediate short-term goal of 150,000, part of that is hopefully to be able to hire somebody to help take the load off. It's hard for me to delegate some of these things because it's all in my head. So how do I delegate that? But to have somebody to just to help with some of the day-to-day stuff, and Sheila certainly helps me, but going to be in need of some more help as things move forward. So let's see. Mailing list sign up for seed not working. It's weird. I wish I knew. It works for most people because I've got like 15,000 people on it, so it certainly works for most people. But it must be either a operating system or a browser issue with some people. I don't know why that's the case. Yeah, it's always something. Technology is great when it works. Discord, yeah, I'm on Discord. I use Discord for other stuff. I'm collaborating with my comic book guys on Discord, so that's cool. Some of these, I don't like the user interface, the way it's set up. But anyway. Demons, disembodied Nephilim. Yep, that's what the Book of Enoch says. Demons are. YouTube doesn't accept your credit card. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, super chat. That's great. I appreciate it. But YouTube takes a huge chunk of it, and frankly, they don't deserve it. So if you're inclined to make a contribution, I appreciate the super chat. But again, please just go over to the Seed website and contribute towards the project because PayPal only takes 2%, so 2.3 or something like that. It's a lot better than the 30-something percent that YouTube's taking. So, like the beard, thank you, appreciate that. I grew that to be a reminder to every time I look in the mirror, it says, dude, you better be working on Seed. Because a lot of my favorite filmmakers all had beards. So it's a visual reminder literally every time I look at a reflection. Somebody says, first thing I see is 666 people watching. Well, it's 681 now, so we passed that. Trying to get caught up here. Minion Michael, thanks. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah. I do intend to do more of these live things. Robbie had offered to help me with figuring out OBS, I think I have a pretty good handle on it. I think I understand how the software works and how I can set everything up. But my problem is whenever, like right now on YouTube, it's accessing my camera directly. When I put my camera through OBS, my lips don't match my mouth. It's out of sync. Well, I know that it has a parameter thing that you can set where you can adjust that for a delay or whatnot. But every time I do it, it doesn't work. And I've done it all kinds of crazy numbers, negative and positive. It doesn't work. So the conclusion I came to is I think it's a latency issue, and my internet's just not good enough. So hopefully going to remedy that here at home. I just got a new seat office. I signed the lease today, and they have really high speed internet there, so they say. So hopefully that'll work, and going to be trying to get interns in to help me with some things. And somebody was telling me about that, that I guess you go to the dean of colleges in different places, and you know, because a lot of people need credit hours, working in whatever field that they're studying, and that I can give them credit hours, and so I get free labor, they get credits. So that may be one way that I start making things happen, is if I can find some really talented animators in particular. I went and saw Toy Story 4, and I mean the animation is just getting so good. I mean, yeah, the toys and the humans, they look photorealistic, but they look like cartoons. Even the people were made to look cartoony, but like everything else, like a pen or anything, any kind of prop or scenery or water, rain, whatever, the house, the cars, all look so good. So animation's getting really, really good, and what they call the uncanny valley is getting very, very shallow, and the technology is just going to get better and better. So, my hope is I'll find some extremely talented kid that just graduated or is about to graduate college, needs credits, and I can get them in my office and sit down and start working on some stuff with either Unity or what's the other one, Unreal Engine, stuff like that. So yeah, if you're really skilled in all of that, thank you, super chats. Again, I appreciate the super chats, but please, YouTube's taking like 30%. So a much better place to go if you're inclined to send a gift is see the series, no D, see the series and see the series on both domains. seetheseries.com/donations/YouTube-gift. So if you're inclined to give for YouTube, I just put a link in the chat room. Please do that, because my payment portal only takes like 2.3 or 2.5% as opposed to the 30-something% that YouTube takes. So again, appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And wow, have got a lot of good support has come in since doing the ask. So really, really, truly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I believe, if we keep going, we can make this thing happen on our own. And then, the beauty of it doing this way is, first of all, it shows me that you appreciate the 10 years worth of free content that I put out, on a variety of platforms. But also, it's as opposed to going to an investor. I mean, when you go to an investor, I'm not going to turn investors away, but there's a lot of legal paperwork. I've got to get registered with the Security and Exchange Commission, and there's all kinds of regulations and stuff I got to abide by, legal paperwork that has to be done just to set it all up to be able to do it. And, lots of legal documents that have to, for units and all that stuff. And then we have to deal with return on investment negotiations and all that kind of stuff. And, frankly, I would like all of the returns that come in from the TV series to go back into the TV series so that it starts to finance itself. And I can't do that if I have to siphon off returns to pay back investors. So, I mean, the money will come a lot quicker, obviously, if I find investors that have a lot of money and they want to sink in a couple $1 million or something. That's great. We get started a lot quicker, but then I have to deal with all that kind of stuff. So, I don't really need them if I'm able to leverage the numbers that I have in subscribers for a very small amount. We can make it happen ourselves. I would say probably nearly everybody out there can afford $30. That's why I just said, look, it's like $1 a day for 1 month. $30 from 183,000 people. I mean, That's like 5 point something million dollars right there. That's enough to get into production of the first 2 episodes, and as we start making episodes and the episodes start making money, the episodes will help finance, future episodes. And as people see it, more people will contribute and whatnot. We can make it happen. I mean, if the TV series The Chosen, they raised $10 million from 16,000 people. 10 million from 16,000. I've got 183,000. I mean, if we're able to do the same thing they did, then we should have no problem. Although, and I loved The Chosen. I think people should check it out. Just go to thechosen.tv, I think is their website. They did 4 episodes. What they spent $10 million on for 4 episodes, I have no clue. Because it's basically people walking around in robes and Roman costumes, like in houses and on boats around the beach. I mean, there's like nothing to, I mean, the production value is good, the lighting's good, the camera work's good, the acting's good, the sound's good, real good. But I mean, by contrast, I think the miniseries The Bible was like 15 million or 20 million, and it was way more epic in scale than what I saw in The Chosen. So I don't know, I don't know what they spent the $10 million on, frankly, but I'm encouraged by it because I think what they've done is really awesome. And what they're trying to do is a multi-season TV series about the life of Yeshua and the apostles, multi-season. So, not just a mini series like Jesus of Nazareth or, something like that, but, ongoing thing. And I really like what they've done with the characters. I mean, they're trying to expand on the biblical characters. So you really get to know Nicodemus or Mary Magdalene and, of course, the disciples and stuff like that. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I recommend it, highly recommend it. First, go on YouTube and search for The Chosen pilot episode. I think it's like 20 minutes long. It's about the shepherds that encounter the birth of Christ. Really good, very emotionally engaging pilot episode. And that's what they used to sell. VidAngel ended up being their distributor and help them with the fundraising campaign. So check it out. But basically what I have with them is a case study. Like I wrote in my business plan in 2010, everything that The Chosen did was in my business plan in 2010 for Seed, so now I have a proof of concept that, what I was just envisioning and sketching out and writing out as a business plan has actually been done. They did it and they were very successful with it. So that encourages me because now I know that what I had originally thought will work and has worked and did for them. So it can for us. Let's see. Earth is round. Save yourself $20 on this scam. Feel sorry for the followers. Yeah, we believe the Earth's round, moron. What an idiot. Can't fix stupid. We believe the Earth's round too. Let's see. Trying to figure out Enoch calendar so I can celebrate the feasts. Yeah. When it comes to the calendar issue, I'm struggling with it too. I have intentions in the near future of getting some people on who do know the Zadok calendar, the Enoch calendar really well. Here's the thing. Everybody thinks they're right and everybody else is wrong in that topic. And there's at least a half dozen or more different views as to how all that works. And I found compelling arguments on all of it, but it's confused me to the point where I don't know any either. And so I intend to get some more people on my show to discuss these things and hopefully do it in an easy way that everybody can understand it, because it shouldn't be this difficult, in my opinion. But when it comes to this stuff, look, we've been out of the loop for well over 2,730 years doing stuff wrong, since the Northern Kingdom was expelled from the land of Israel at about 721 BC. And so everybody's been screwed up, not doing the calendar right and thoroughly indoctrinated in pagan ways and stuff like that. So to think that we're going to get that all figured out in a short period of time, I think we're going to be, playing a guessing game for a little while. In fact, one of the things I believe, one of the reasons for the 2 witnesses in the book of Revelation is it says it takes 2 to 3 witnesses to establish truth. Well, I think part of the job of the 2 witnesses is going to be to get us in sync so that, because right now we're doing this. I think they're going to go, okay, now you got it. Cool. So I'm not terribly worried about it. I think that issue is going to resolve itself. But in the meantime, I think, we're doing the best we can with what we have. We're trying to understand it. And I will do my part to try to find some people who understand it better than I do to talk about it here on my show as long as I have this YouTube channel. Oh, that's the other thing. Speaking of, people are freaking out. They're flipping out saying that I'm a sellout because I said in my previous video that I'm going to delete my Flat Earth videos from my Captain Mang YouTube channel. I'm like, well, duh. If this channel gets deleted because of Flat Earth, and that's one of the things they said they're targeting. They're targeting very specific, channels and topics, and that's among the topics and channels that they're going after. So if this channel goes away because of that topic, why would I keep that topic on my other channel? Because I'll lose that one too. It's a backup channel for a reason. If I keep Flat Earth videos on that channel and they delete this channel because of those videos, what do you think is going to happen to the other channel? That's why I'm going to delete it. Not because I'm a sellout. How can I take a stand against that? There's nothing I can do. They're going to delete it. So I'm only going to delete it if this channel goes away. If they happen to, now I didn't even think about this before, but if they happen to delete that channel first, then I'll probably delete the Flat Earth videos on this channel too. Either way, if I delete, if I lose one channel, whatever channel remains, I'm going to delete the Flat Earth videos from it because that's why they're deleting the channels. I will upload those videos someplace else. So whether it's on library.com, BitChute, or some other channel, it's still going to be out there, maybe even Vimeo. So it's not going to go away forever. I'm just, trying to be proactive and trying to save as much information as I can for you guys. And, like I said before, frankly, if they delete this channel, I'm screwed because I have so many websites that I have my videos embedded in that, if this channel goes away, when you go to those websites, all you're going to see is blank videos. This YouTube user is no longer here. This video is gone. And to update all those websites, God, I got so many websites. I mean, even my Babylon Rising blog website, that website had a lot of YouTube videos embedded in the blogs. Now, that's back in 2011. And a lot of those videos aren't there anymore because other channels got either deleted or those videos got deleted for whatever reason. And so there's a whole lot of blank videos on my Babylon Rising blog site that I haven't had time to go fix. And so the thought, like my virtual house church website is loaded with videos. I did like 4 years of Bible study on that website here on this channel. And those YouTube videos are embedded in that website. So if this channel goes away, virtual house church is going to be 4 years worth of information up there is going to be blank video, blank video, blank video, blank video. It's going to be a freaking nightmare. So, pray. That would be amazing if somehow I managed to escape the purge. Is YouTube trying to take down your videos, Rob? Well, they're taking down a lot of other people's videos. They're demonetizing. They have taken some of my videos down. Yep. But all I'm saying is, look, it appears like the writing's on the wall, and I'm just trying to take action ahead of time to be prepared for it. Let's see. I'm still trying to get caught up here in the chat room here. Haters gonna hate, Rob. Joshua says, yep, I know. That's what they do. I give them a reason for living, though. I don't know what these people would do without me or other people like me. I mean, what is the mentality of a hater? Like, if I don't like somebody, I don't give them a second of my day. Like, why, if I hated somebody, why the heck would I go to their website or their video and sit there and watch them for, most of my videos are between an hour and 3 hours long, and some of these guys are just hit and run. They come here just to, I'm going to hit the down button. Like, wow, they had their orgasm for the day. People are idiots. I don't understand the mentality. Let's see. Who would you want to debate? If you're talking to me, nobody. I don't have the time. And I've said what I said. Uh, you know, what more can I say? A debate. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I actually enjoyed the debate that I did with Dr. St. but I didn't enjoy the stress of leading up to it, all the research and time I had to spend preparing for it. That I don't have time for. I just don't have time to spend all that time doing it. But honestly, he has his supporters. I have my supporters. He has his information up online. I have my information up online. I don't think it actually changes anybody's mind. The people who loved Dr. St. still loved him after it's over and still think that he won. The people who love me, hopefully still love me afterwards and thought that I won. So, yeah, it's just kind of a waste of time. It keeps the crowds entertained, I suppose, but make a new channel, Rob, Flat Earth. You found me researching the giants. Thank you, Rob, for your search for the truth. You have no idea the eyes you have opened. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've seen the Fox News stuff about senators getting alien debriefings. I mean, that's why I did this series. Like I said before, people think that I don't know how you can come to the conclusion that I'm endorsing aliens if you actually watch the series that I did. I'm exposing them. I'm trying to show. The very title of my videos was Deception, the alien evolution multiverse deception. I don't know. Too many trolls. I've got mods in here. Trying to get rid of them. So if you've got a wrench, go ahead and use it. Christian Truthers, hey man, nice to see you in here, Justin. If you guys haven't subscribed to Christian Truthers or Parable of the Vineyard, you guys need to. Hopefully their channels will be around for a bit longer. They do amazing work. So yeah, get on Christian Truthers and Parable of the Vineyard and be sure to subscribe to them. I'm a Ruby on Rails developer, web applications and whatnot. If you could use a hand with any of that stuff, I run a business from home and have some days where I have a few extra hours I could donate. Yeah, I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but I do really want to create some apps. In fact, that may be a good way if, I don't know exactly how it all works, but maybe I can create an app for my videos and just have my videos hosted somewhere and the app runs them. I don't know. I mean, it seems like I still run into the same problem with server bandwidth and security and all that even there, but I will have need for apps. I also want to take the comic book that we're working on, excuse me, and restart the audio drama and marry the audio drama with music, sound effects, and all that stuff to the comic book and create a kind of a audio visual comic book app. So definitely need help with that. If you have skills in that regard, production@seedtheseries.com. Send me an email. Any demos that you have that you could show me what you can do, that would be helpful. The mentality of a hater is to be miserable towards those they hate. Yep, that's pretty much true. I agree with that. Paid haters. Yeah, they must get paid. I don't know, like, why else they would do it. Perhaps your street preaching days are at hand. Perhaps Yahuwah is the one removing us from the internet so that we can start preaching to the people without the internet. Well, that could be true. Certainly could be. Oops. Keeps updating and then bouncing stuff around. I'm trying to... Man, I could only get a little less than halfway through Dean Odell's Satanic Cabal hit pieces. This guy is getting nasty. And Rob, I just got my first Seed t-shirt. I'm stoked, man. David Underwood. Thanks. That's awesome. Yeah. Dean, Nathan, no comment. I'll just leave it at that. They are no longer renting space in my head. I could give them the time of day. I've heard a lot about it. I've seen some of the commentary on it. No reason to look at it. Darren asks, "Hey Rob, is the new office in Dallas for Seed?" Yes, it's in Plano. I got a Jaeger office. I'll be posting probably a video on that once I move in. I'm moving in on the 8th of July, so what's another week or so. um, so yeah, and I needed that because a lot of people want to have meetings and stuff like that. So it's a much more professional environment to bring people to. Thank you, super chats. I appreciate the super chats. Once again, YouTube's taking 30 something percent of super chats. So, if you're inclined to give, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you. Don't get me wrong. But a better place to do it, where they only take 2.5 or so percent, is on my seed site at theseries.com, setheseries.com/donations/YouTube -gift. So if you're inclined to give, that's a better place to do it than here. Been following you since 2012, 2013. You draw me closer to Yeshua more so than anyone. Thank you, Enoch87. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing the testimony. Yes, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, but against evil rulers and authorities in the unseen world. Absolutely. Somebody's looking for a climate change video. I put a few up recently. You can go back in my archives and see a couple of videos. Are we approaching 0 hour? And the first one that was with Dane Wigington, and then I forget what I titled the second video, but the video I posted right after that was with Jim Lee, and that'll send you in a whole lot of other directions, so you can check that out. What's my take on Eric Dubay? Yeah, probably no comment on that. The thing is, people who spend all their time calling everybody else a shill, if you look up the actual definition of shill, it's not just a derogatory term that everybody's like, it's fashionable to call somebody a shill now. Oh, I don't like him, he's a shill. Go look up a shill. Go look up what a shill does. And what I find rather ironic is the ones typically calling people shills are the ones that fit the definition of a shill. So maybe I'll just leave it at that. Although I will credit him for being one of several people who got me intrigued in this topic, and in his regard, when I first heard his interviews, I thought, man, this guy's a genius. I've never heard anybody so articulate, and until he may be, but what I realized fairly early on is he was reading books like Zetetic Astronomy and other books from the 1800s and early 1900s. And when I figured out what books he was reading, I went out and got those books and thought, okay, well, he's, I can read these books too. He read them on the air and put video to it, and did a good job, and certainly has done some really good interviews and stuff like that. But I think some of these guys get a big head and want to take credit for everything. I started this, and I'm this, and I'm that, and everybody else is a shill. I'm not interested in playing that game. Look, guys, we are already in the minority, with the world against us already. So do we really need to be shooting at each other? It's immature for one thing, and secondly, it's not doing, I hate to call it a movement, I don't know what else to call it, but it's not doing this topic any good, because people looking in just see everybody's fighting each other and they can't agree on anything, and it's just not a good thing. Somebody says, the Apocalyptic Cookbook says, I thought I knew about Genesis 6, then I watch your videos. Whatever I thought I knew, I was squat before your videos. I learned from you. Don't give up. I don't intend on giving up. I intend on taking it to a much larger audience, and that's why I'm working on Seed. Seed is designed to take all of my research for the past decade or more, as well as the research of other people that, their materials that I research, to a much, much bigger audience. Let's see. Somebody just subbed to Christian Truthers. Right on. Help support those guys. Please find a way to be accessible no matter what they do to you. I will always be searching for you and your content. God bless you. I will definitely do my best to try to. That's why I made the video I made before. Is like, look, here's some things that you should do, to start taking action to prepare in the event that I happen to disappear. Oh, and don't believe the suicide note if it ever gets to that. I hope it doesn't. But that cough is chemtrail related, Rob. Yes, it definitely is. I agree. Um, I've always been a very healthy person. Almost never get sick, but I tell you, whenever they spray, and they're always spraying, man, it just gets me. That's why my voice has been a little weird. And this, it's like this. It sits right here, right on the windpipe, and like you just can't clear it. You're just always, coughing. Man, it drives me nuts. And actually, I got this is colloidal silver, 500 parts per million, and I've been putting it. Oh, I don't have it here. I was cleaning it in the other room. I have a nebulizer, and there's a little face mask, and so I've been breathing the nebulized colloidal silver because, like, man, yesterday I was hacking my lungs out like all day long. Like I just couldn't stop, just constant, constant, constant. And that seems to be about the only thing that works. I mean, we've got all kinds of essential oils and, healthy stuff, alternative, stuff that holistic and all that kind of stuff. I do all of that kind of thing. But nothing seems to knock it out until I do colloidal silver. So, yeah, there's that. Lori, $100. Wow, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, YouTube just took about $30 of that, and they don't deserve it, but definitely appreciate it. Thank you, guys. What's your thoughts on Christ within, Rob? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I do believe that if you've accepted Christ as your Savior, that He lives inside you. I don't know what else to say about that. What do I think of the Earth being flat and square? Well, I believe that actually, it's probably a lot like something like this. Something with four corners with a circle carved in it, because the word is kaukak, which means inscribed. Okay, so that's what I think. Excuse me. Hang on, I'm going to mute this because I. Oh, wait a minute. So you don't have to hear me. You are an inspiration, Rob. I greatly appreciate all you have done and continue to do. Eric's early interviews are what first got me into this. Thank you, and yeah, me too. Please search out the Giant of Krabi. Krabi, Krabi. Never heard of that. I know the Giant of Kandahar. Krabi. Giant ruins. It's in Thailand, it looks like. Well, I got it up on my Google to check out later. Yeah. How far off do you think the alien deception or invasion is? 5 years, 10 years, wild guess. Yeah, probably sooner than later. The very fact that mainstream media is now pushing it like all over the place. And I've been saying before, I thought Ancient Aliens had 11 seasons. I just looked on Hulu. They got 14 seasons. 14 seasons. I don't know how much more prepping they need to do. It seems to me that all the prep work has already been done, and now they're finally starting to slowly leak it out in the mainstream media. So in my mind, it's only a matter of time. That's why I got so passionate about getting, the information out that I've been putting out lately, and why I think seed is necessary. Yeah, Tartaria mud flood stuff is really interesting. Somebody says they think would be awesome for seed. Yeah, there's definitely some really good story material there, and that's one of the things I'm going to be meeting with Rob Price, is another writer. In fact, he teaches script writing at a university. Uh, excuse me. Hang on. Stinking chemtrails. Um, we're going to have a brainstorm session to start outlining script and story ideas, and that will certainly be part of it. Seed is brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, Lance. Good to see you. Friendly fire hurts the most. It sure does. Ooh, 14 people thumb down. Ooh, I'm so intimidated. Uh, thank you. Mm-hmm. Hey, hey, Rob, I would like to hear more about the North Pole and the hidden land. Seems no one, including you. Well, there's quite a few people out there interested in it. Zen Garcia and I have been talking about it, but somebody who's really kind of not kind of actually somebody who is putting his money where his mouth is Brooks Agnew. One of the lectures I attended at the Contact in the Desert conference was Brooks Agnew, and he was talking about that they've actually got a ship and everything lined up, and they got some money raised and are trying to raise more money, but are planning some big expedition to the north, and I guess they're going to try to stream stuff live as much as they're able to. Um, Definitely interested in what's happening in the north, that's for sure. Rob, what do you see coming up next for the Word of God in this truth community besides the disclosure? What about 5G or the madness of chemtrails? Well, chemtrails have been sounding the alarm on that. 5G is a big issue, guys. Huge. Something that needs to be addressed, and something that people need to look into. Like, you need to look into the dangers of 5G and start getting proactive in your local, city councils and stuff like that, because they're putting these towers up everywhere, and I'm seeing them getting closer and closer to my house. They get much closer than I'm going to have to start saying something, and canvassing my neighborhood to get people aware of what's happening. 5G, not good. Definitely not good. Chemtrails going crazy in Jacksonville, Florida. Yep, I know, everywhere. Let's see. Luther, I love your YouTube videos. Thank you. Appreciate that. Smoke pot, protect your lungs. No, thank you. Yeah, I understand the medicinal value of marijuana, but I have no intention of smoking it. Um, yeah. So this is just turning into kind of I'm just hanging out here. This was going to be just a very short video just to say I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, but if you guys are enjoying it, I'll keep doing this for a little while longer anyway. Does 5G lower sperm count? Wouldn't be surprised if it does. Do you think they really found Gilgamesh's tomb? Yes, I do. In fact, that's a big part of the plot in Seed, by the way, in April of 2003. I didn't see the sacrificing and bloods of the ceremony. Rob, did you see the sacrificing and blood smearing ceremony for the third temple on Easter Sunday? No, I missed that. Cool hanging out with you guys too. Thank you. Appreciate that. Way to slow this down. Like, it's so fast I can't keep up. How is the Seed game developing going? It's going really good, actually. I need to actually the guys that I'm working with, he's been hounding me on my text messages like, Rob, we need to talk. So I need to Seems like there's a lot of noise going on out there. I had to see what's going on outside. Apologize for that. Man, somebody said there's a slowdown option here, and I don't know where it is. It's in the top somewhere. Manage moderators, pop out, send feedback. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it anywhere. Yeah. Jeff Carrier, tell us more about you. I don't know what you want to know that I haven't said a lot in lots of other interviews. Any more research on the Tower of Babel? I would think they would have to figure out the curvature of the Earth. I haven't done any more research on the Tower of Babel other than to say that stuff that I used to think that it was a like a ziggurat type thing with some kind of a Stargate in the top of it, and you used to talk about that and how it didn't make sense that it was built in the plains of Shinar. This was my earlier material. I used to say that, but then I started doing some research, actually, and stuff I even published. Joshua and Jubilees and other books talked about the foundation of that thing was so huge. It was something like 200 square miles at the high end, 100 and something at the low end. And so now it makes sense why they built it in the plains of Shinar. They needed an area that was big enough to make a platform for a structure that big, and that God destroyed 2/3 of it, and the remaining third over time was pillaged. But there's apparently still some evidence that have led archaeologists to understand how big the base of that thing was. It's huge. Andrew says, I do IT work, and if you want to host your own videos, not hard. I put up a few of my tutorials on my page. Suggestion, which may be unfeasible, is to use WebM format, instant play in Firefox. Don't know much about that. But man, guys, I'm just overwhelmed. I mean, man, a lot to do. Somebody's asking how you could donate to Seed. I'll put a link in the show notes there again. Thank you. Appreciate that. The link is see the series, SEE, the series.com/donations/YouTube-gift is where you can go for that. Thank you. My opinion of the tomb of Osiris, man, I think it's a resurrection chamber, actually. And I've talked about that in my Babylon Rising series, so you can check that out online. Somebody's asking if I could give any information on the origin of the Aboriginal people. No, I don't really know much about that. Sorry. Something I haven't really spent any time looking into. Rob, do you think that Yah and his angels have anything to do with UFOs? You don't think that Yah and his angels use super advanced technology throughout the Bible? Well, yeah, I do, actually. I think that there are, with the Merkabah, I think it's called, that they do have some sort of, hang on a second. Vehicles that they travel in. So I think that there are good ones and bad ones out there, and that they both use vehicles. Although I think a lot of the so-called UFOs that we're seeing right now are man-made, frankly. That a lot of these are government created things, both U.S. government as well as that of others. What exactly is Seed about in a nutshell, if possible? Well, the best way I can condense it is the way I pitch it. Lost meets the unit wrapped up in the X-Files. So it will have the mystery and intrigue type of elements that made Lost so interesting to watch if you enjoyed that show. Special forces storyline like the unit, and weird stuff, paranormal stuff like the X-Files. So, that's sort of the structure of it. Let me share the screen again here. if you go to seedtheseries.com, this is not HTTPS secure. It's just HTTP. And somebody told me that some antivirus software out there will block this and saying that it has unsafe content or whatever. I'm not aware of anything on here. There's not much on here anymore because I've cleaned it off to make a new site. But I think because it's not a secure site, HTTPS, some virus software flagging it, and people are concerned about that. I don't know what to do about that. Something else I'm gonna have to figure out. But you click on this link and it takes you away from that site, Seed the Series, to the See the Series. So instead of SEED, it's See the Series.com. And if you go there, you can click on the About button, tells you a lot about Seed, or click here to read the 27-page PDF general overview. But if I was to really summarize everything as quickly as I possibly could for you, it would be to say that the first prophecy in the Bible is in Genesis chapter 3, describing the God telling the serpent that Eve's seed will crush his head, and that's where a seed war began. And so seed deals largely with that aspect of it. What is the seed war all about? So, certainly, and that will encompass all all the research I've ever done: UFOs, aliens, Nephilim, fallen angels, Tomb of Osiris, Gilgamesh, government conspiracies, all of it. Somebody says, the way you stop following dream of video happened to me with music, parallel experience, and I am now inspired to create for our Father. Will volunteer for Seed. If he will use me, I'm here. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you've got samples for me to consider, you can send it to production@seedtheseries.com, production@seedtheseries.com. And when it comes to music, I'm looking for like Hans Zimmer type music. That's the kind of music that I like. Pirates of the Caribbean. That kind of sound is what I'm looking for Seed. And so you need to have the kind of keyboards and stuff that or ability to have that very orchestral, heavy strings and horn section kind of music, with strong drum section as well. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes yesterday. I appreciate that. God's hosts do not rely on machinery to travel. I would beg to differ. Nor anything that would be confused with a ship that appears to people outside the visions of dreams. Ezekiel certainly would tend to disagree with you. Heiser does a good job of this. Yes, he does. Thank you for the prayers for healing. Get this gunk out of my throat. Let me unshare. I'm still on there. So I'm probably not going to go a whole lot longer here, guys. But I appreciate you guys joining me. It's been pretty cool. Kind of an impromptu hangout session. It's just, it would be a whole lot easier like if I was actually talking with people as opposed to trying to read. It's going so fast too. But I guess it's kind of what Owen Benjamin does, except he plays his piano. I don't have a piano player, so. Narrow Truth asks, have you looked at tribes coming over the Caucasus Mountains, western countries of the world? We are the real Israelites. Jews aren't Judah. They're Canaanites. Well, I do believe there are a lot of people calling themselves Jews that are not Jews. I certainly believe that. That they are Edomites and all that kind of stuff. I definitely agree with that. Haven't really looked into the issue of the Caucasus Mountains, though. I'm going to address something real quick, too. I'm not a lot of comments show up in my YouTube channel, people saying that, I don't really know what real Israel is unless that I'm saying that they're black. I'm very much against the black Hebrew movement, just as much as I'm against the white Hebrew movement. I don't believe that true Israel is a color or a so-called race. In fact, I don't even believe in races. I believe there's a human race, period. Red, yellow, black, and white. They're all precious in his sight. Read Genesis chapter 48. Israel, also known as Ephraim, i.e. the northern kingdom, the prophecy in Genesis 48 was that Ephraim would become a multitude of nations, not a multitude of black people or a multitude of white people or Native American people. It says a multitude of nations. Okay, Genesis chapter 48. And then we see that the northern kingdom, Ephraim, was dispersed in 720 BC and was thoroughly dispersed into all the world, and has been that way for over 2,730 or 40 years now. So to try to put a color on Israel, to me, is patently absurd, ignorant, stupid prejudice, whether you think it's all white or whether you think it's all black. I think, frankly, the whole Black Hebrew Roots movement is pure prejudice, and it's based on very faulty biblical hermeneutics on Deuteronomy 28. And, I've tried to stay out of this whole thing because I think the whole argument is just ridiculous. But, they're trying to say the 400 years goes back to, slavery that started in, 1619, so 400 years. Well, first of all, the 400-year prophecy, that's Genesis 15, I believe. That was fulfilled in the Exodus. The scriptures tell you that. They tell you that the 400 years, because the same people who preach the Deuteronomy 28 black people Hebrew stuff are the ones that are talking about see, if you read the curses of Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28, that fits blacks in slavery. Well, first of all, black people are not the only people to be enslaved. Virtually every culture at some point in history has been enslaved by another culture. The Irish were slaves here in America before the black people were. Furthermore, it was black people selling black people. You go back to, even the documentary Roots, that TV series, Roots. I don't know if you call it a documentary, docudrama, whatever. Roots showed black people selling black people. If you believe the Israelites are all black people, and that Mitzrayim is black people because Ham was a black person, then you had black people enslaving black people, in Egypt. The whole thing's ridiculous when you get down to it. But the 400-year prophecy of Genesis chapter 49, Genesis chapter 15, was fulfilled in the Exodus. It tells you that, 430 years. And what's the difference between the 430 years and the 430 years? Well, the slavery and persecution prophecy dealt with the descendants of Abraham. So when he was first given the prophecy, Abraham was like 75 years old or something like that. So that's 25 years right there. And then the other 5 years was when, Ishmael was messing around with Isaac and making fun of him and poking him and doing whatever. Some say there was even some sexual, connotations to it, but whatever the case may be. When Ishmael started giving Isaac trouble, that's when Abraham told Hagar, hey, sorry, get out, take Ishmael with you. That's the 30-year difference. So you have the prophecy, you have the 400 and the 430, right there. So it was 430 years from the giving of the covenant of Abraham to the Exodus. That's 430 years. And within that 430 years, go forward 30 years from the time that Abraham got that prophecy to when Isaac was about 5 years of age and receiving the persecution that the prophecy said his descendants would receive. That's 400 years. That was already done before you get to Deuteronomy 28, because Deuteronomy 28 is after the 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. And Deuteronomy 28 is, Moses is recapping the Torah before they go into the promised land. So the hermeneutics behind the whole thing is completely upside down, reversed, twisted, grossly manipulated to fit a prejudice agenda, in my opinion. Again, I'm not for white Hebrew Israel, and I'm not for black Hebrew Israel. I'm for a multitude of nations. Furthermore, Romans chapter 7 through 11 tells you that if you're not part of the blood relation of the children of Jacob, Israel, then if you're over here on a wild olive branch and you accept Yeshua, Jesus Christ, if you prefer, as your Lord and Savior, then you are grafted into the cultivated olive tree that is Israel. So that's everybody. Whatever nationality, color you come from, you're going to get grafted into Israel through belief in Yeshua or Jesus Christ, if you prefer. So, yeah, and even before that, if you want to go back, if you think that Shem, Ham, and Japheth were somehow three different races produced by one couple, I don't know how you end up with that, but some people believe that. Well, they were all together in the plains of Shinar, all together, thoroughly mixing together under the leadership of Nimrod. So you have all the mixing right there of the three sons of Noah and their families and offspring taking place in the plains of Shinar. You have mixing throughout the biblical text. Then you have the prophecy in Genesis 48 that Ephraim would become a multitude of nations. Then you have the divorce in Jeremiah chapter 3, where God divorces the northern kingdom. You have the exile 720, 721 BC with the Assyrians taking the northern kingdom and dispersing them into all the world to fulfill the prophecy of Genesis chapter 48, becoming a multitude of nations. Nothing about the Black Hebrew Israel movement makes any sense whatsoever if you actually read the scriptures. It's just prejudicial nonsense, in my opinion. People are being prejudiced. It's like the reverse KKK. And I'm against prejudice of all kinds. I have lots of friends of people of all color. I don't see color. I see people. We all got inside. We're all the same color. How much melanin somebody has in their skin does not determine their favor with God nor with me. And people who are all about the black movement, the black only Hebrew movement that are attacking me, I'm like, okay, please tell me the melanin the criteria for how dark do I have to get? Because the only difference you're darker than me is because you have more melanin production than I do. That's it. Okay. So if I spend a lot of time out there in the sun, the body naturally produces melanin to protect the skin against harmful radiation of the sun. I have Scottish ancestry, so I have that, white boy Scottish skin. So for me, and I don't use sunscreen. I don't believe in it. I think it causes cancer, frankly. But what I have to do is I have to work my way slowly. So I go out half hour, at a time till I get a little bit of a base, and once I get a good base tan going, then I can stay out for hours and, get a nice tan, not burn, because my body is producing more melanin and has a good base going. And so I get a decent tan. But what I want to know is what's the color shade? What shade, how dark do you have to be? I mean, if you're only beige color, are they the real Black Hebrew Israelites? Or do you have to be like dark skin? Like, what's the shade? What's the magic shade? Just tell me, because I could go out there and start spending time in the sun to get that. The whole thing's ridiculous. Israel is not dependent on melanin. True Israel, is dispersed into all the world and or is grafted. I personally am not aware of any actual ancestry that I might have going back to Jacob, so I don't know that I have any of the 12 tribes in me. But I know that I have accepted Yeshua as my Lord and Savior, and that I was of Polish, Scottish, and a whole bunch of other stuff ancestry that was on the wild olive tree, and that I've been grafted in to the cultive olive tree that is Israel. So praise Yahuwah. I'm in. I'm Israel. All right. Enough said on that. That's probably gonna. Oh, now I got 20 thumbs down. Yeah. Well, there you go. Big Bear is learning. Keep teaching, brother Rob. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat there. Somebody's okay, Andrew. You said I sent my unique new calendar research to production. Okay, I appreciate that. Please don't send things that are not seed related specifically. I'm trying to use production. Production at Seed the Series is for actors, musicians, writers, people in the film industry. All other stuff, I've got other email out there. Rob at Seed the Series is another one you could send to. Rob at robskiba.com is another one. I prefer people to send stuff like that to me, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for sending that. Thanks for the super chat. definitely. I'm just trying to keep my email because my emails get full, guys. I get hundreds of emails a day, and man, this is almost impossible to keep up and find stuff sometimes. Why do I believe the suntan lotion causes cancer? Well, I'll look into the ingredients in that, and you'll see that a fair amount of it, a lot of the stuff that's out there is carcinogenic. Now there are natural suntan creams and stuff out there you could look into, but most of the stuff people get at like CVS or whatever, it's not good, and it's destroying underwater life. I watched a video and posted it recently on my channel, on my Facebook page. I mean, about what it's doing to coral reefs and how it's just destroying it. In fact, when we went to Hawaii for our anniversary a couple of years ago, they told us about that, and just people going in the water wearing this carcinogenic. I forget. There's several ingredients that were very toxic to underwater. It's like the Roundup of the sea, the glyphosate or whatever the Monsanto crap, which is also a problem. We got to stop using that stuff, folks. I went to Home Depot yesterday with Sheila, or the day before, and they'll have all these rows of pesticides and stuff, because it's time of year people doing gardening and whatnot, and it's all Roundup this, Roundup that, Monsanto crap all over the place. It's like, look, stop buying. If we stop buying this stuff, we put them out of business. They are killing the world, not just people, not just you and I. It's causing sickness and disease for all of us. Like everybody I know that has pets, their pets are all jacked up. They got hot spots. Yeah, I grew up with dogs my entire life. I had, in my previous marriage, I had 8 dogs at one time. Never did my dogs have the kind of skin problems that I see like everybody, their pets have today. In fact, you go to, some of these, walk in the pet section and stuff, and they have like entire rows now to dealing with, hot spots and skin irritations and stuff like that. I mean, it's affecting everything. these chemicals, the dogs that we had, even growing up, when Chemlon was the big thing. Chemlon, we used to do our yards, keep our yards green, and get rid of dandelions and stuff like that. The dogs that I had growing up all died of cancer. Because they like to go outside and lay in the grass or roll around in the grass and even eat the grass. And they all ended up with nasty tumors and cancer and died. So we got to stop using this crap. We stop using it, they go out of business. So stop buying it, stop using it. This stuff gets in the ocean, and even the sunscreen and stuff that we're wearing, we go out in the ocean and stuff like that, and that gets in, into the plant life and in the sea life. And look, I mean, we lose the bees, we're done. We lose the coral reefs, we're done. We're destroying this earth with the chemicals and stuff that we're using. I'm getting more and more passionate and convicted about these things myself, and trying to use a lot less plastic, when I go out to go shopping, and whatever plastic I use or recycle it. Because man, we are destroying this place. We got to stop it. Why do Caucasians have 2 to 4% Neanderthal DNA according to science? I don't know. I don't have a degree in that, but so I can't validate what you said or not. But we have, for what I understand, Neanderthals are what, in the France, I think, or something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me that whatever was going on with them, they would have been intermingling with humans, and we'd have remnants of it. Do you consider Rob? Do you consider yourself not Sareem? I don't even remember what that means, but if it's what Christian Truther put out a video on that, I would say yes. Let me see. I don't want to talk out of turn here. Where's the video? Oh, I don't think I have it on mine. Anyway, forgive me. I forget what the word means, but if it's the video that Justin put up on Christian Truthers, then I would say probably yes. 2028, the end. Are Hard to say. I don't know, but things keep going the way they are. I can't see us lasting a whole lot longer past that. That's for sure. I'm just not sure about aliens. I see a lie in the word. Yep, I agree with you. It was kind of interesting. This past weekend, they had the Alien Con. Even the name, the Alien Con. Of course, they mean conference, but no, it's an Alien Con. That's what it is. A big conference out in California. It's all a con. Yeah, Michael's asking me about the UFO stuff. Well, that's yeah. If you haven't seen the videos that I posted recently, that's what I think about it. I think we're being set up. Man, this thing's just going so fast. I can't keep up. Nazarite, not Stream, two different people. Yeah, I agree. Nazarene is people from Nazareth. Rob, RH negative. I wrote about that in my second book, Archon Invasion. In fact, let me see here. I could probably throw a PDF in the room for you. BabylonRisingBooks.com PDFs. RH negative. I think it's actually book 2. Yep. Nope. Dang it. Try this. Nope. Try this. Nope. Ah, Razafrazin. I think it might be case sensitive. Hang on. I should know this by now because I've sent it. I'll see if I can find it real quick. If not, I apologize. But I did write about it in my second book. Book 2 PDFs. Oh, that's not it. So it wasn't in book 2. Huh. Oh, okay. I was putting dash. Okay, stand by. I found it. PDFs. No dash. One more try. Oh, I was on the wrong web domain the whole time. See, I got Babylon Rising blog.com and Babylon Rising books.com. I was on the wrong domain to begin with. So let's try that again. So that would be Babylon Rising books.com /PDFs, all caps, one, except for there it is. Sorry it took so long on that one. Oh, sorry. Sorry, coughing in your ear like that. There's a PDF. It's the domain is babylonrisingbooks.com /PDFs with the P, D, and F and caps and the S lowercase /RH negative .PDF, and the R is capital and the N is capital, RH negative .PDF. So you can read on my take on that. Were the Nephilim, so maybe Neanderthals are a type of Nephilim? Yeah, people differ on that. You got to remember, in my opinion, that there's two variety of Nephilim. I know not everybody agrees with me on this, and that's fine, but I extend it to basically hybrids. You have the angel-human hybrids, the direct descendants of, angels mating with women from the Book of Enoch. But I believe that only happened once, and they were dead within 500 years, because that's what the book says. says they were to kill each other off. First generation Nephilim were to kill each other off within 500 years, and they did. The Greeks stylized that event into what became known as the Clash of the Titans. So they're gone. First generation Nephilim, gone. Then God judged the angels who did that, and they are the ones who, the angels that sinned, that both Peter and Jude referred to, that are in everlasting chains. They are, they have been punished and put in chains. So they're no longer out and about. They're the angels that sinned. And I don't believe there has ever been any other incursion of angels mating with women, because the judgment of the Watchers was extremely severe. So severe that the mightiest of all the angels, possibly other than Satan, Michael the archangel, who defeats Satan ultimately, looked at what was going on and said, man, he's trembling in terror and fear of the severity of the judgment. So if Michael, the archangel, second only to the Godhead in strength and power, defeats the enemy of the saints, Satan, is terrified of what happened, no one's going to do that again. Sorry. There's no written documentation anywhere of another incursion of angels apart from the first one. So, and that was done 700 years before the flood. That was over with. All done. 500 years were over. Those Nephilim angel human hybrids are dead. The parents, the Watchers, are judged, bound, and buried. You got 700 more years to the flood. The last 120 years leading up to the flood was a different variety of Nephilim creation, and that's covered in Genesis chapter 6, verse 12. Earth and all flesh had become corrupted. How did that happen? Joshua 4:18 and Jubilee 7:24 give you the details, fill in the blanks, elaborate on Genesis 6:12, and tell you that that was the result of men blending species, animals, plants, even fish, all kinds of stuff were being blended together to create a different variety of Nephilim, but these were animal human hybrids, not angel human hybrids. That's the variety of Nephilim that I believe came through the flood and survived, to the other side. And there's various, ideas as to how they survived and came through on the other side. Regardless of what your belief is, the net result is we have giants on the other side of the flood. So whether you believe in other incursions, which are not documented anywhere, nobody said anything about that. And sorry, the after that of Genesis 6:4 does not qualify. That's in a pre-flood context, not a post-flood context. The after that of Genesis 6:4 is the after that of Jubilee 7:24, which says, and after that, that being the first incursion, men began to blend species, pre-flood. All right. So I believe that carried forward in the genetics of the three wives that would have to fall into the category of all flesh. And Joshua said the wives of the three sons of Noah weren't picked until 7 days before the flood. So, and you'll note that their families didn't make it on board. So, probably for good reason. And I cover all that in my Archon Invasion series, so I'm not going to go deeper into that. So whatever corrupted genetics came through the flood and that may still be in the gene pool that some of us may even have ourselves. And my grandmother was Rh negative, my mother's side. So what? I'm not worried about it. God doesn't care about your blood type. If you have, and I appreciate Danny Duvall is another researcher, he said, wherever the spirit of man is with a heart of repentance, salvation is possible. I agree. Wherever the spirit of man is and the heart of repentance, and man being mankind, females included, no problem. What is that? Thank you, super chatters. I appreciate it. Although again, if you're inclined to support what I'm doing, a better place to do it is on the Seed website, because YouTube takes upwards of 30% of super chats. So rather than giving to YouTube, go here. Here's a link for you. If you're inclined to give, please give towards the Seed project. I really appreciate it. Thank you either way. I definitely appreciate your support. Andrew, no, don't worry. You did not upset me. I'm not upset. No problem. You've thoroughly tested this calendar. Well, that's good. There are lots of people testing calendars out there. Everybody thinks they're right. Somebody's going to be right, I suppose. Man, these chats are going so fast, it's hard to keep up. But you know, a lot of uh, man, stuff's just going by so fast. It's hard to keep up. But you know what? Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Again, I apologize for not being more proactive in outwardly expressing my appreciation. You know, people have been sending us support really since oh gosh, probably 2010 or 11. A little bit here, a little bit there, and almost always like at the perfect time. Like Sheila and I be looking at each other like, I have no idea how we're going to pay the rent this month. You know, how we're going to pay the electric bill. And then all of a sudden that random donation or check would come in the mail, and it was always the perfect amount. So Father's been very faithful. And I just want to give public praise and thanks to my Heavenly Father for his provision over the years. You know, our Amazon books, you know, 3 of my books have been on the best-selling list off and on since they were published. So Amazon pays a lot of our bills, and you know, we have product sales and stuff like that that pay a lot of our bills. And the rest comes in from really from support. I mean, people think I'm getting rich off of YouTube. If you watch my last video, I debunked that idea, showed you no, YouTube's not paying a whole lot. In fact, less and less as the days progress. So YouTube is definitely not, you know, in times past has been up to maybe about a third of our income, but that has certainly been diminishing more and more. But regardless, whether you're purchasing our products online, or sending super chats, or supporting my seed project, or just sending that random donation in the mail, please know that has been greatly appreciated by both Sheila and I over the years. And I apologize for not being more vocal in my appreciation, but you know, please know that it is appreciated. And we're trying to work on a way of having better donor relations to be more interactive with our supporters. So, you know, you guys are the ones helping us along. Why don't I have a Patreon? I don't think I need a Patreon. I have anything that Patreon would do for me, my website does for me. So I don't really see the need to go on there. If somebody could tell me a benefit of going to Patreon versus just having what I have on my website, because what I understand, Patreon takes something like 2 or 3%, and that's pretty much what happens on my website anyway. But I mean, all of my YouTube videos, you don't hear me asking for money. At the end of my videos, you hear me saying, thank you, like, subscribe, share. I didn't want to ask for money. I don't like asking for money. It bothers me. I don't like it. The only reason I'm doing it for seed is because the time has come, and I think it's like critically important that we start getting this ball rolling. And so it's like I have to, all the more so if if my YouTube channel goes away. So I mean, that's the only reason I'm doing the ask there, because seed is going to take all this to a much bigger audience than I could ever reach on YouTube anyway. And if we do it all crowdfunded and do it the way I want to do it, completely independent of the Hollywood system, so much to the point where I don't even, you know, it'd be great to get on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon, but honestly, that comes with strings attached and problems too. So, you know, the technology is getting to the point where I don't even need to go to Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon. All I need is a good and effective advertising and marketing campaign to drive people to my own site. And, you know, with enough money and support, we can create our own platform that would be just like a Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu, but without all the restrictions, censorship, and everything else. No one's going to control it if we have all the control in the first place. You know, so, you know, people keep asking what's Seed about. It's everything I've ever researched is what Seed's about. All the books, all the DVDs, all the videos that I put out, that's what Seed's about. I've just taken it and put it into a fictional parable storyline with characters that take you along the journey to discover all these things through, you know, the plots in the storyline. So literally everything I've researched ever is going into Seed. That's what Seed's about. That's all about all the research. But doing the same thing the enemy has been doing. You know, the enemy has been using parables and stories and engaging science fiction to brainwash you, to brainwash me, with shows like Star Trek, which very much puts forth a secular, humanistic, evolutionary panspermia message. And we sit there and we gobble it up. We watch it and watch it and watch it. And next thing you know, we start believing it. So, and when you think about it, why does this stuff cost so much money? Well, first of all, watch all the credits. Watch all the credits at the end of a TV show and a movie. All those people got to get paid, and you get what you pay for. Ultimately, that quality of talent costs money. The software and equipment and servers and everything needed to crunch all the data to make the kind of special effects like an Avengers or something like that costs money. And what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, and anybody else that's willing to listen, is we should start thinking of it in terms of $1, one person, because that's what they think. They don't care about throwing $100 million into an Avengers movie because they know they're going to reach hundreds of millions of people. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. $1 equals one person that's going to buy a ticket to what they're doing, and it's going to gross them billions so they can make more stuff to indoctrinate us with all the stuff that they're putting in our face all the time. How they're influencing culture. I mean, just look at how many series of Star Trek you had. Let's see, you had the original Star Trek series with Captain Kirk and all that. Then you had the animated Star Trek series. Then a decade or so later, the Next Generation comes out, 87, I think it was. Maybe almost 2 decades later. Next Generation. Then you had Deep Space Nine. Then you had Voyager. Then you had Enterprise. Now we have Discovery, right? 7 series, and many of these went for 7 seasons. Anywhere from 3 to 7 seasons long, with like 20 episodes per season. And then they made how many movies? They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly even billions if you tallied it all up. Well, they've also reached hundreds of millions of people and possibly billions of people with their secular, humanistic, evolutionary, panspermia ideology. It has, and that's just one franchise. Never mind all the other ones that are out there. Friends. Sheila and I were just talking about this recently. I had never seen Friends when it was on TV. Most of the people I knew were watching it. They all loved it, but whatever I was doing, I was in the Army at the time. So I never really watched it, but, it comes out on Netflix and I start watching it, and, I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. It was very funny. The characters in the TV series Friends remind me of myself and the friends that I grew up with, even the situations that they got into and stuff like that. I found it very funny. I really enjoyed it. But when you take a step back from the entertainment of it and see what they're doing with that, I mean, that show was extremely influential in pushing like an amped up sexual agenda, and pushing, right from the start, lesbian, right? Ross's wife leaves him for another woman, so you have this whole lesbian agenda thing going on, and they're always, pushing, this, that, and the other thing regarding LGBT, whatever, however many letters they have now, the rainbow, right? Which is a mockery of the real purpose of the rainbow. So they have that whole agenda and promiscuity, and if you take a step back and realize you're laughing at things, yes, it's funny, but it's also planting seeds in people's minds about things that are not godly. So that show ran for like 7 seasons, incredibly influential on our culture. How many people are just trying to emulate Jennifer Aniston's hairdo, right? So there's that. Every TV show you're watching is preaching to you. It is preaching a message to you without being preachy. And that's where I think Christians are missing it. We've abdicated our position of influence in that industry. Yes, we understand that Hollywood's evil and that there's all this stuff, but we pulled out of it, and so it's just run amok, unchecked, with nothing to oppose it. So how many TV shows are there out there? Probably millions by now. And all of these TV shows are primarily putting forth various secular and pagan ideologies. And the more you take in, and you are taking it in, it is having an influence on you. Movies, the same thing. And so, the secular world says, hey, let's create a TV series about, 2 gay dads that have a kid. Cool. They get the money immediately and make 5 seasons of a TV show on that. Whatever they want. That's what Christians need to realize, is like the secular world has all the money that they need because they're not afraid to use it, because they understand the principle of one person, $1. I want to influence somebody. It's going to cost me $1. They don't have a problem with that. Christians, I got people on my last video that I put up is like, truth is free. How dare you, ask for money? I'm like, well, truth may be free, but this computer wasn't free. All these books, I got bookshelves all around me full of books that I've read. They weren't free. The software for this computer wasn't free that I used to edit the videos. The electricity is not free. The house is not free. The rent is not free. The gas to go and do things is not free. The thousands of dollars that I spent to do experiments, several times, each time cost about $2,000. That wasn't free. So, truth doesn't just fall out of the ether into 500 YouTube videos for free. You get to sit there and watch it for free, because everything I put out there is free to you, but it wasn't free to me. It cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars when you tally it all up. So I don't know where you get this idea that the truth is free. It's not free to put it into any kind of medium. Whether it's a book, a DVD, a YouTube video, it costs time, it costs effort, all the resources that you need to do it costs money. So it's free to you to watch it, but it sure isn't free to produce it. And I felt impressed by God early on that I needed to put everything out for free. So I did. And that was a hard decision, especially back in 2013 going into 14, and all the more so in 15. Man, in 2014, I produced the Yahuwah Triangle series. It was a 10-hour teaching series that I thought, hey, wow, man, I got a DVD box set here, 10 hours of teaching. This is going to be great, and I felt a powerful conviction, the Holy Spirit telling me, nope, you're going to release this for free. I'm like, Father, have you looked at my bills lately? He's like, trust me. I'm like, oh, man, okay. So I put together a web page and said, hey, listen, this is just an experiment here. I'm stepping out in faith. I'm putting out all this information for free. And, here's a donation button if it meant something to you. Well, what do you know? Father was faithful. People out there did start to support the work, putting it out for free. So from that point on, I made it a point. And even before that, I was doing everything for free. I did thousands of pages of blog content in 2011 through 12 into 2013 also, for free, putting it all out there for free. And all I'm saying now is after a decade of that, thousands of pages, hundreds of videos, at least as many podcasts, radio shows and stuff like that. I put it all out for free. All I'm saying is, look, is that worth $30? $30. That's it. If it is, go to my seed site and contribute, because I don't know where else is going to come from. If I'm going to compete with all the TV shows out there that cost a minimum of $3 million, some of the shows that everybody's hooked on right now, they got budgets of $6 to $10 million. And a lot of these Netflix originals and HBO originals and stuff like that, they're working with huge budgets. But what do you see everybody talking about? Everybody's talking about Game of Thrones and, all Westworld and, all these shows. Everybody's talking about it. And, I haven't watched this stuff, so I don't know what exactly the agendas that they're putting out into people's minds. But all I know is it's a 1-to-1 ratio. HBO and all these companies have no problem putting out, spending millions of dollars because they know they're reaching millions of people. So, as far as I know, there's nobody else out there directly trying to oppose specifically the alien UFO great deception agenda that is coming at us like a freight train right now. Other than, there are people like L.A. Marzulli, Tom Horn, Steve Quayle, Timothy Alberino. I love their research and stuff like that. These guys have been out there on Prophecy News and shows like that, Skywatch, doing their thing. But they have their audience. For the most part, we're preaching to the choir, just like here on YouTube. I've got a few thousand people watching or whatever my videos, and I've got 180,000 subscribers. For the most part, other than the trolls, I'm preaching to people who already more or less believe the same way I do. I'm not reaching 300 million people in this country. I'm not reaching 7 billion people on the earth. But meanwhile, the Avengers are, Thor is, same message. Son of God saves the world. Problem, wrong son, wrong God. $100 million, reaching 100 million people, grossing billions to go make more movies. So this is what I'm passionate about, guys. I'm one person out there trying to make a difference. I'm looking for not just money. Obviously, we need money to make it happen, but we need people. Like if you look at the end of the credits, I need all those people. Excuse me. Hang on a second. I gotta hack my lungs. Um. I'm a right brain guy, right brain creative type. I have the skill sets and ability, the learned and acquired skills to do left brain stuff, but it sucks the life out of me. It's not my gifting, it's not my passion. It's stuff I have to do, it's not stuff I like to do. So, I'm desperately looking for people uh that I can trust. And that's always a big thing is, you got to have people you can trust and that are talented and gifted and just thrive in the left brain world to handle paperwork, to handle logistical stuff. When I look at the Chosen, they've got a team. They've got COOs and CFOs and CEOs, and I got me and Sheila, and both of us are right brain creative types. So, it's like I need that producer guy or gal out there who understands what I'm doing, gets what I'm trying to, do with this series, and has the skill sets that I need and that I can afford for whatever budget we're able to raise. This is where I am at this point. Right now, I haven't been able to do much because I didn't have the money to pay anybody, and I had people volunteering. But and I appreciate volunteers. Volunteers are awesome, but I mean, it's the whole issue of, well, something else came up. It's the deadlines are hard to meet when you're working with volunteers because they got life and they got bills to pay and they got other things and they have to work. Whereas when you have somebody that is very skilled and talented and is specifically getting paid for a job, it gets done on time, hopefully, and done with excellence. And so while I appreciate volunteers and we'll be looking for volunteers and certainly love free labor anytime I get it, look, I believe a workman is worthy of his hire, and I want to pay people too. So we're in that growing pains phase right now, where I've gone about as far as I can with just Sheila and I doing what we've done. Now I need to build my own industrial light and magic. George Lucas found a bunch of young and hungry college graduates that had various skills and abilities, built what became ILM, and launched an empire. When you think of Star Wars, it was made for $13 million. Wow. They built an entire empire by finding talented people that agreed with each other to work together to create something, maybe not getting paid a whole lot up front, but work together with a common vision to build something, that they all believed in. And so that's what I want to do. Anyway, went kind of on our rant here. I'm a project manager, my day job, willing to help you. Thank you. People who have gift, talents, and abilities and a resume to send to me, send to production@seedtheseries.com, production@seedtheseries.com. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you all who are giving me birthday wishes and super chats. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Please only if you're talented, gifted abilities, send to production@seedtheseries. I'm trying to keep that email specifically for people that are ultimately going to be working with me on the production. Any generic emails of other types of things you want to send it to like rob@seedtheseries.com or something like that. One of my other channel emails out there. Thanks for the volunteers out there. Appreciate that. The hard part is right now I don't know what to delegate. There's some things that only I can do, and I think I'm getting some good writers on board that we can sit there and start working on the writing part. But logistically, we got to start building the studio and running it efficiently. And ultimately, I got to be the project manager because I know what the project is and how it needs to go. But wading through emails and dealing with politics and people and stuff like that, I need somebody to handle that kind of stuff. Audiobooks, yeah, I did some audiobook. I did Babylon Rising as an audiobook. I held back on Archon Invasion because I was doing well, I actually need to edit Archon Invasion. It was never edited. It was rushed to print because I had a conference coming up and I wanted to have it for the conference. So that book is actually loaded with typos and grammatical errors, and it really needs a complete reformat. Then I was going to do that. As far as the audio drama goes for Seed the Series, we'll be starting that up again probably as soon as I finish with the comic book. And we're cranking away at the comic book. We're more than 1/3 finished with it right now. So we are working on that real hard. As soon as we get that done, we'll work on the audio drama. Thank you. Another super chat. Appreciate it. Again, yeah, I really appreciate the super chat, guys. I really do. But YouTube's taking 30 to 35% of it, as I understand it. People have been telling me that. So if you would like to contribute, a better way to do it is at the link I just put in the chat room, seetheseries.com/donation/YouTube-gift. That's a better place to contribute. I would get a lot more of it, and it goes toward the project. So thank you so much. Yeah, release in slow doses. Release a couple of 5-minute scenes first. Make a couple of 2-minute previews. Just get it done in small chunks. We're ultimately that's probably what's going to end up happening. But if you go to, let me show you. There's another page. The link that I've been sending everybody to is specifically for the YouTube Ask, so that I know how effective this campaign is turning out to be in terms of crowdfunding. But the TV series crowdfunding page is seetheseries.com/donations/TV-series. And I'll put that link in the chat room so everybody can go check that out right now if you want to. And I will screen share it also. Maybe that does it. Hey, wait, there's a thought, huh? Let's do a screen share, shall we? If you go there, oops, sorry, wrong screen. That's this page right here. And let me refresh it. Yeah, so you see at the top here, I have a immediate short-term goal of 150,000. We've got 63,560 for this specific crowdfunding campaign. The other crowdfunding campaign that I've been sending the link to everybody, that's this one. This number is going to be added to this number eventually. So this helps me to track the difference, like which efforts are being more effective. And so this 24 is added to the 63 here. So yeah, we're doing good. That's what, 87, something like that. So we're more than halfway towards the immediate short-term goal. Basically, this is the bare minimum to get the ball rolling. It will mostly cover legal fees. I got to hire an entertainment attorney to help me draw up contracts. And there's lots of different things, legally speaking, and document and paperwork wise that has to be done to, and also hopefully hire at least 1 or 2 people to help take some of the load off of me. 500,000. Like if we breeze past the 150 quickly, we're doing really good. And, it's only been like what, a week and a half or so since I originally did the ask on Parable of the Vineyard, week or 2. So we're cruising right along. We'll probably hit the 150 quickly, I hope. In that case, I'll just say, let's just keep pushing, go to the 500. I've already got the office. Like I said, I'm taking steps toward the goals that I have for the milestone 150. So, get in the office. I'll be making an appointment with a entertainment attorney that I know, that many people who do independent feature film here in the Dallas area have used this guy. So he comes highly recommended by people that I know and trust. So I will be seeking him out. I've talked to him before, but I'll probably visit his office in Austin and start the ball rolling. And these guys cost money. So I'll start using some of this funds immediately towards obviously the office and the attorney fees to start working on this side of things, and also for the unit shares, the offerings, and all that kind of stuff when it comes to larger dollar investors. If people come in and say, hey, listen, I want to invest $1 million or $2 million or whatever, but they expect a return on investment. Again, I got to get SEC, Security and Exchange Commission certified. There's all kinds of legal stuff there. So the 150 is going to help with all that. The 500, though, there's a guy. Let me go here. This is the main C, the series website. And if you go into the blogs section here, this guy that I know who I've become friends with, his name is Keith Brock. This guy right here. He is one of the pioneers in motion capture development and the creation of motion capture software for animation and stuff like that. We meet fairly often now. He was there right from the beginning, 2010, when I first started talking publicly about Seed. He came to my first public presentation that I did in Plano, and lost contact with him for a number of years. And then he reconnected with me right about the time I was starting to refocus on Seed last year. And we've stayed in contact. And he's like, look, dude, he works for Microsoft right now, but wants to get out of there and is looking to do exactly what I'm trying to do at Seed. And he's like, let's do this thing, man. I texted him the other day. He's like, yeah, he's been traveling a lot. We're going to be back in town soon, and we're going to meet again to talk about, with 500,000, we can basically start building a studio here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm talking like a big motion capture facility. So if you've ever watched the special features where they have like a big like warehouse, it's all painted green, and they got a lot of room to do action sequences and build scenery and sets and stuff to interact with the actors and stuff, and the actors get dressed up in the jumpsuits with the ping pong balls attached to them. All that, those little ping pong balls translate to what they call bone structures in animated characters to make them move around and stuff. Like, he's one of the pioneers in this industry and knows where the industry is going and what the latest state of the art stuff is. And at this meeting that I just showed you the picture, we were talking about, hey, let's just collaborate, build a studio, start bringing in some industry professionals on this and start working on this. And so, if we hit the $500,000 mark, we can actually build this studio, start bringing in some really talented artists, and create an amazing trailer. That will be our first goal, is to create like a 2 to 3 minute trailer that takes some of the highlights from the scripts that I have written already. I've written 6 scripts, published 4 of them as a book that you can check out. I'll show you that in a minute if you're not aware of it. But like, make a trailer that would be like anything you've seen in the movies lately. Hopefully it'd be so awesome that people are like, oh my God, when is that show coming out? I want to see this so bad. This looks awesome. And that can really kickstart some of our next phases of fundraising. 4 million is basically the target per episode. It may be possible that we can do it for less, but when I started looking into other TV shows, and you can go click on this link right here to see where we came up with this number, and that takes you to a PDF that explains the Seed budget. You can read all that if you want to for yourself, but this is a breakdown of a typical TV series. 3.5 million Battle Creek TV pilot, talks about The Chosen and stuff like that. So it explains where I came up with that number and why that seems to be the sweet spot. So that's sort of an episodic deal. 12 million would enable us to do the first 3 episodes, which is actually a 3-part pilot for the series. So these are sort of each step, each phase, one step at a time. Like Robbie Davidson was saying to me, he's like, you put out 20 million as a goal, and people are like, oh my God, he's never gonna get that, or even 5 million or 4 million. So that's why initially I have here 150. However, on this YouTube crowdfunding page, I have 2 million here, and the reason I did that is because I'm like, you know what, I have 180,000 subscribers. If 180,000 at the time, I got more than that now, but at the time when I wrote 180,000, well, let's just do the math here. I'm not gonna do it in my head. Let's see here, 180,000 times $30 each, or $1 a day, as just say, hey, thanks, Rob. We appreciate all of the stuff you put out for free. That's 5.4 million. 5.4 million. And what I was figuring is like, look, if what is it, 180,000 times 0.4. If only 40% of my audience does this, because I realize not everybody's going to do it. Some people will do less, some people will do more, some people won't do anything. Haters are going to call me a scam artist or whatever. So there's probably a decent chunk of them that, they subscribe because they have no life. And the only thing they can do in their life is like wait for the next video that I come out so they can hit the thumbs down button and have an orgasm. Like that's the only thing that they live for. So I know that there's some percentage of the trolls out there that may be in the subscriber list. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe at least 40% of my audience would get involved and do this thing. So 40%, 72,000 times $30, that's $2.1 million. So that's where this 2 million comes from. So I'm thinking, even if 4%, 40% of my audience does this, that's a good chunk right there. Like the budget's 4 million, but if we have 1 million, we'll go into production. Like one of the users said, we'll do what we can, get it out there, put that out as maybe part 1 of episode 1, whatever we got to do. We're gonna get on it. Somebody's saying porn bots. What's happening here? Robbie's got a wrench, so clobber him, hit him overhead, Robbie. I don't know what's going on in here, but I just seen some things in the chat room. People kind of freaking out over here. Oh, that's what these people do. They don't have a life. So thank you to my moderators, because I'm not really paying attention when I'm talking here. You guys just cranking along in there, keep things in order. I really appreciate it. Hey, we got you. All right. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate your help. Got some good moderators, man. Solid guys. Really appreciate you guys. Appreciate you doing what you do. Awesome. Love you, brothers. So yeah, that's where the numbers come from. That's if you're wondering about that. Now, I was saying about the book. On many, you click on these links up here, they take you into the site, and most of these pages have a right-hand menu. You can check out the some of the links I have here, like the merch page. You got to have merchandise these days. And actually, maybe, yeah, if you just scroll down under this video, you'll see Buy Rob Skiba merchandise. That's some of my Teespring stuff. It's showing mostly, it looks like Yahuwah Terrarium on my page. I don't know what's showing on everybody else's page. There's a few seed stuff in there, but anyway, that stuff's also here on this page. So click on the merch page on the website. You can see this is the book that I was talking about. There's 3 versions of it. There's a black and white, trimmed down version. It's basically just the 4 scripts. Then there's the special edition. It's black and white, but it has quite a bit more in it for you to check out. And then there's the limited collector's edition right here that is full color and has a lot of information in there. And it comes with a certificate of authenticity. And there's only going to be 3,000 of these ever in print. Only 3,000. Once the 3,000th book is sold, that's it. So they are numbered and authenticated and signed by me. So just imagine if you had the original first script of Star Wars before it became Star Wars. And of course, the story changes a lot. Many people have said scripts are not written; they're all rewritten. That's true. Scripts go through many different versions before it finally hits the screen. So how cool it would be to have the original first draft of Star Wars before it got rewritten, 15 times before it hit the screen. Well, that's basically what you end up here. And if you've already ordered books recently, they're on the way. I'll be shipping out a whole bunch of them tomorrow. So be patient. I had to wait for a shipment to come in. I ran out of books. So that's why if you haven't received yours yet, I've been waiting for my shipment to come in, and they just came in. I got about 50 of them in stock at home here right now. So I will be filling orders tomorrow. So if you want to get yours, probably next week, you can start ordering those here. So that's that. Then you have apparel. If you've seen some of the t-shirts and stuff that I've been wearing, click on this. It takes you to my Teespring store and shows you what's available. And hang on a second. It's not just the colors that you see here right off the bat. Looking at it, when you click on a shirt like let's say this one right here, this will take you to a page that will show you that style of shirt, but different colors. So if you didn't like the blue one, there are different colors that you can choose from here. And I've been really happy with the quality of these t-shirts. I've got a bunch of them. I've got one a day that I wear pretty much every day, a different shirt, different color, different designs and stuff like that. So, you can pick the different color that you want, and also the sizes and stuff. So like even you can select from these, but each one of these also has colors you can choose from. So this particular shirt right here has these 4 colors that you can choose from. See, click on that one there. That particular shirt has even more colors to choose from right there. You know, this is the female t-shirt right here. Different colors that you can choose from. So you can select from all these different things here. There'll be different ones that pop up here, and each one that you click on will give you other options here. So if you don't like the one that's immediately pictured, keep looking. There might be something else that catches your attention. People ask again, what is Seed about? Well, it's about all this stuff. These are the research. These are the nonfiction materials behind the science fiction. What about purple? Somebody asks. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 designs in there that might be purple. Not sure. Have to go through and click and see for yourself. So what I did with these are DVDs, but instead of having 6 DVDs, I put them all as MP4 files onto a DVD-ROM. So you can get actually the whole 6. This would cost over $100 if you're actually buying the DVDs. Again, guys, all these things are available online for free in YouTube videos. People buy my content because they want to and they want to support what we're doing, not because they have to. All this material is online for free. But if you're interested in it, the DVDs themselves would be well over $100. $100 if you get the package deal. But as a DVD-ROM, as digital files on one disc, it's $40. So you can get that. This is the actual DVDs. These won't play in a DVD player. They play in your computer. These will play in a DVD player. Combo packs of DVD-ROMs. This is that package deal I was telling you about that I put online for free. It's still online for free. 10 hours of teaching is all on one DVD-ROM. So you can get all of these DVD-ROMs for $100 and or package deals with the books. Different package deals there. So, if you don't want to just contribute it, say, hey, thank you. You want something in return for your money. There's still enough of a little bit of a profit margin in here that benefits us certainly. But you could take home actual materials. So just another way to help support what we're doing. All the stuff that's on this page, whatever I sell here, whatever the profit margins are, that's going into the Seed project. So, you can take something home with you in addition to your contribution there. At the top, you'll see Get Involved. That's another way for people to do what it says, get involved. There are different aspects here that you can look into, click on whatever interests you. There's a survey here. Don't get upset if I don't write back immediately. I'm still collecting information at this point. As soon as I have all the stuff collected and have had time to really go through it, hopefully have some other people besides Sheila and I looking at this stuff, we can start making some decisions and start maybe hiring people and stuff like that. This is where I'm getting a lot of information. So you can just fill out the short survey, select things that are appropriate, and that goes to a database that comes to me that I'm using to categorize people. I've got folders that, artists or musicians or actors or whatnot, I'll put you in different folders, and then we'll start going through those when the time comes. Updates, that page will take you to a page where you can sign up. I apologize. I don't know what the deal is, why some people are having trouble with this. I hate to put this here, email me directly, because honestly, guys, I get so many emails. I probably won't get to it. I'm just being honest. There's a lot there. So I've got to figure something out to try to overcome that. So be patient, maybe check back again. If you want to get on the mailing list. Somebody asked me about crypto, and yes, I do accept crypto, definitely. And that's right here on pretty much every page that has the right-hand menu. You can see, if you click on each of these, there's a page that talks about supporting the TV series, video game, graphic novels, fiction novels. If you want a tax deduction, you could click on that, and that takes you to our Mountain Movers PayPal account. Mountain Movers is another organization that's 501c3. They do all kinds of mission work. They look at what we're doing. They love what we're doing. And they said, hey, we will take you in as a subcontractor because you fit our mission statement. And then this would give you the ability to put, without me having to do this, become a 501c3, which I have no interest in doing. But I can, there's a way for me to give you a tax deduction through them. So if you go there and you contribute, it goes to Mountain Movers International under our purpose code. So they take an 8% admin fee, which covers also the PayPal fee. And then they send me the rest. So you're actually helping. And I really love this ministry. They've been great to us and have done a lot of great work with other things that they're doing. So, I have no problem with that 8% fee, helping them out. And they send me a check at the end of the month for whatever comes in. And then they will send you tax deductible information, for your taxes at the end of the year. So if you're interested in getting a tax deduction, that's the way to do it. And if you're interested in crypto, somebody said to me in my previous email, hey man, if you had crypto, I would support you. Well, I do. And man, Bitcoin's been going crazy lately. I'm pretty jacked out of my mind excited about that. If you click on that link, support with crypto, if you want to do it that way, these are the options. You can support with Bitcoin or Bitcash or Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever one you like. You just, there's the code, you know what to do if you're into crypto. So that is definitely a way to help make it grow for sure, because, somebody had contributed 3.33 Bitcoin to me when it was like $5,000 right before it started taking off. And now it's headed to 15 pretty soon here, it looks like, and maybe more. So that's the kind of contribution that just grows. And you don't have to get one full Bitcoin. You can get $20 worth of Bitcoin, $10, $100, whatever, but that will multiply. So that's a great way to help maybe take this quickly to where we need to go. So if you're into that, and I know Robbie Davidson, if you're confused about it, he's a very knowledgeable person. He's somebody that I go to when I got questions about it. So that's a great way to help us along with this. And people, what's up with the 333, and all that? What's up with the threes? Well, I actually tell you about that. It's on the website. On that front page, there's a frequently asked section right here. Some frequently asked stuff. What's up with the backwards E? Well, the iconography of seed is very deliberate. For starters, in predicate logic, the backwards E represents an existential quantification, a type of quantifier, a logical constant, which means there exists. So what I'm saying is there exists seed. There's a seed war. This is the first of many clues I'm telling you right now for seeds that I've planted in seed. But another deeper reason involves a specific font that I used, thus symbolizing the way the E's look in a very specific fashion for a very specific reason. If you look at the two E's facing each other, and you can click here, I'll open a new tab, click here to learn more, it takes you to this video that explains it, revealing the concepts of seed, part 3 of 6. So I'll just tell you that when you put the two E's together in the specific font that I created, it's the first letter of the Greek word for God, theos. So I'm also telling you God is at the center of seed. What's up with the threes? So the number 3 caught your eye, did it? No, I am not a Freemason. Contrary to popular gossip, you may have seen or heard online, no, we are not Freemasons, nor are we in the Illuminati. I can't believe I actually have to explain this to people. If anybody's actually paid any attention to all of my material, you would know that I'm very much against these things. And no, I'm not controlled opposition. I'm against these things. In fact, we have a long and well-established public record of speaking out against secret societies and the occult. There are plenty of other valid reasons for incorporating multiples of the number 3 into this series, one of which originated with this scripture right here, which was a big one that Yahuwah God showed me as I was starting the series back in 2009, Jeremiah 33:3, because I was praying. I'm like, God, I want to do something that will make a powerful impact on the world, that will reveal what the enemy's doing in this seed war. And he brought me to this scripture, Jeremiah 33:3. Ask me, and I will tell you remarkable secrets you do not know about things to come. So it's like a foundational scripture for this whole series and for me personally, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So naturally, with a tagline like "The keys to the future lie buried in the past," that's a double meaning. The keys to the future lie buried in the past, but I've highlighted future lie, i.e., strong delusion, i.e., great deception. We thought this verse was more than appropriate, but that's just one of the many reasons for our repeated use of the number 3, and you can click there to learn more about that. So, you know, don't be lazy. If you've got questions, I've got answers. It's on the website. Most of the stuff people are like, "Oh, what's up with this?" Well, it's right there. Blogs, lots of blogs, stuff for you to check out there. So, let's see what else. Anything else I can talk about on that? I think that's about it. Let's go back to the chat room here. I'm just hanging out. This video turned out to be way longer than I anticipated. I thought I was just going to put out a 5-minute video and say, sorry, it didn't work out. I'm going to move on to do some other things. But, well, just hanging out. Yeah, the video that I was going to play, the intention that I was going to have for this evening was to play that 6.5-hour 8-part series all at once, just play the whole thing. I re-edited it into one long video. Somebody's asking, can I interview you? Yep, sure, no problem. Send me an email at send it to rob@robskiba.com. Remind me of this chat, and we can set up a time to do an interview. That'd be pretty cool. So I was going to play the whole 6.5 hours plus one or two other videos that I was going to incorporate into it that complemented it, and just play the whole thing. So we were going to go from, like, my plan was to start at 6 o'clock and go to about 1 a.m. and do a nice long marathon. That's what I was trying to do. Robbie Davidson's, Rob is doing a marathon. Well, that was the plan for this evening, but it was going to be a lecture series. It wasn't going to be what I'm doing right now, but well, this is kind of cool. Kind of enjoying it. If you guys are enjoying it, why not? 28 people aren't. Oh, I don't like you. Whatever. Get a life. Yeah, so I'm doing an Owen Benjamin here, I guess, minus the swears. Jennifer says, thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Appreciate that. Let's see. Lecture away, Rob. We are listening. Well, I didn't have anything really to say other than a few things here that caught my attention in the chat room, but I haven't even eaten dinner yet, man. I'm getting really hungry here. I'm gonna have to call it quits soon. Yeah, in fact, I think I'll probably just call it quits now because I actually really need to use the bathroom and I'm getting really hungry. So, wow, I went for 2 hours. That was that went by quick. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for your love, your prayers, your support. Thank you guys for the super chats. That's awesome. Even though YouTube took about 30% of it, I still appreciate it. And for anybody who's willing to help me with the seed project, whether financially or, prayer. I need prayer. I need all the prayer I can get. I need prayer cover, prayer support. This is a battle. This is a war. So, definitely need that. I can take all the prayer I can get. And obviously, if you have gifts, talents, and abilities, and again, I'm not trying to be critical or anything like that or harsh, but it's got to be the same quality that we see on the television shows that people are watching and in the movie, the movies that people are watching. We need that level of excellence. So, I appreciate it if you're an artist, that's great. But if you're not at that level, that's not what I'm looking for yet. So I'll just tell you up front, I'm only going to be interested in people who have the level of quality and qualifications that we're seeing in some of the cool TV shows and movies out there that everybody's talking about and hooked on right now, because we're going to be competing with that. So yes, we have a message, but I want to deliver that message with as much excellence and production value as I possibly can within the budget and within reason, whatever we're able to do. So that's about all I have to say here. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the comments here. There's a lot going on. You know what? Ultimately, I think maybe I should get with Robbie or Nate or some of these other people uh, that have shows and do sort of a joint effort here for these kind of on the fly discussions here, because I can say what I say while somebody else is reading, because I can't multitask very well. Looking in the chat room, maybe I get Sheila in here to help me out. I think it's better if I have a co-host on here if I'm going to do something like this more often. But I enjoyed this. This was fun. So I'd like to do it again sometime. So keep an eye out. We probably will do more of these. This is an enjoyable way to spend the evening with you guys. So that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for everything. We really, truly do appreciate it. And we'll see you back next time. Good night.